let's go across to our guests. We have Karan Verma, author, joining us on the broadcast, along with Air Vice Marshal Nitin Vaidya. He's a defense expert. We also have Pooja Mishra, Samajwadi Party national spokesperson, and Syed Asad Abbas, political analyst. I first want to come across to Air Vice Marshal Nitin Vaidya. This is what it takes when you talk about precision strikes. This is what it takes to carry out an operation of this scale. First of all, your response to the title that was given to the mission by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Operation Sindoor, because we know when how the victim Manjunath's wife told the terrorists to kill her as well. The terrorist said, "Jaake Modi ko bata dena."
Yes, ma'am. So I lost the initial part of your statement.
Well, I just wanted your response on the name that was given to the operation, and also, what goes into planning a strike and operation, because it's not a one-off strike. This was an operation that targeted the terror infrastructure deep inside the Pakistani territory.
Absolutely. I thought that the name was so apt for the simple reason that when the terrorists identified people and killed them, did not spare the husbands and told their wives to go and tell the Prime Minister Modi that we have done it. I think the operation name was absolutely befitting. It is so apt that I would want to salute the person who has decided this, for the simple reason that it is an avenge for all the 26 people whose lives have been killed, and most of them are husbands whose wives were present there. So I am very confident of the fact that this was deliberately done, and it was done with the intention to tell not just the ladies who lost their husbands, but the entire nation that we as a country are going to avenge not just the 26 lives that have been lost, but every person, every Indian who at every point of time has lost his near and dear ones in an operation by the terrorists. That is point number one, ma'am. On the second half of it, I would definitely want to say that whatever targets were chosen were absolutely apt. What India has done is that they only targeted the terrorist places, their headquarters, and they spared not only the army, they spared not only the civilian areas, but they spared the army also, which is an absolute marvelous decision by the Indian government, which implies that we are not after any of the civilians there, but we are mainly targeting those people who are making India a ground to avenge whatever they want to do incorrectly. So I thought that it was an amazing thing on both accounts. And what I am really pained at the fact is that when people start questioning the government or questioning the armed forces and asking for numbers at a time when the operation has not even completed 24 hours, and it is probably just the first phase. We are so uncertain as to what is going to happen in the next few hours and next few days that to ask for numbers and to ask for proof really pains me as a soldier. It gives me an impression that those people who are making this statement do not rely, just for a political statement, they are making the armed forces putting a question mark on the ability and the actions of the armed forces. As a soldier who's put in more than 36 years of service, it actually pains me when people of this country who say that they are citizens and that they should be standing by every action that India takes at this point of time, questioning those people.
It should not have happened today. Pooja Mishra, do you agree that today was not the day to do politics or to ask questions like kitne terrorists mare, ye bhi to bata dijiye? Well, I think we need to wait for more details to come to fore. First of all, at the moment we are still discussing the targets, we are still discussing how precise the strike was, we are still discussing the operational details in terms of when it happened, how much time did it take, the terror infrastructure that our forces were able to strike without crossing the border. Well within our territory, today we exercised our right to defend. This was our right to respond, and yet you have people asking, kitne terrorists mare, ye bhi bata dijiye. Is that not unfortunate?
Swati, it's unfortunate. We salute our Indian Armed Forces. We appreciate our Indian Armed Forces, and it is a time for unity, and Samajwadi Party is part of that unity. Right now, we don't want to question government. Right now, we don't want to question anybody. Currently, Samajwadi Party stands with the government. Currently, Samajwadi Party stands with the Indian Armed Forces. We are with the government. If government want to take any severe decision, Samajwadi Party is with the government in the direction of eliminating terrorism, the root of terrorism. And we think that this kind of question shouldn't be raised by any individual, and responsible individual shouldn't be. It shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have.
You are absolutely
We
right.
agree with that.
And since this issue has been raised, I didn't want to make it political at all. But since the issue has been raised, let's also listen into those reactions that came in. First, I know, Karan, you want to come in, but let's listen into the unfortunate developments that took place in terms of the statements that were given by some.
कितना नुकसान हुआ और कितनों को मार पाए, इसकी भी घोषणा होनी चाहिए। आतंकियों ने, जिन आतंकियों ने यहाँ आतंक मचाया है, आतंक के आकाए बने बैठे हैं, उन आतंकियों के ठिकानों पर हमले हुए, उनमें कौन कौन मारा गया, उसका खुलासा भी हो जाए तो हमारे दिल को तसल्ली हो जाए।
पाकिस्तान ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर को वापस लेना है कि नहीं लेना है, इससे बेहतर कोई मौका नहीं मिल सकता है। इससे ज्यादा जवाब देना जरूरी है। ये कम से कम है। हमारी फौज ने तो वो किया जो भारत सरकार ने कह दिया।
इस तरह से जो हो रहा है ना देश में, ये बहुत ही गलत हो रहा है। हम पाकिस्तान को नहीं चाहते, पाकिस्तान के खिलाफ कार्रवाई हो रही, हम सब तालियां बजा रहे हैं, बहुत खुश हैं कि हमारी फोर्सेस ने क्या जबरदस्त काम किया है। लेकिन यहाँ के मुसलमानों को अगर पाकिस्तान के नाम सताओगे, मैं समझता हूँ ये भी आतंकवाद है।
Pooja, now what do you have to say about what Abu Azmi said? Today was not the day you said, but yet your leaders are resorting to that.
Yes, today. No, today I go with my stand. If you think that Abu Azmi said something that's going to change the stand of Samajwadi Party, no. Swati, we go with our stand that today wasn't the day of. His concern is right. Government should target, the armed forces should be targeting the Pakistan, or government should be targeting the Pakistan, not the Indian Muslims, and that was said by even the Martia's bureau also. But today wasn't the day. Samajwadi Party stands on that, and that today wasn't the day of.
Really appreciate the stand that you've taken, Pooja. Really appreciate the stand that you've taken. In fact, Vikram Misri said the same thing, isn't it, Karan Verma, in that press conference, that this exactly was the motto of the terrorists, to drive, a wedge of communal divide between the communities. But yet there are those who just cannot rise above the political differences. Today was the day to stand united as India. But unfortunate that these people continue to politicize the issue, asking for the count. Kitne terrorists mare batao?
So Swati, that's been the trend, unfortunately. For Samajwadi Party, it's just another day at office. Pooja ji here might differ, but just yesterday we were doing a debate where the Samajwadi Party leader Lal Bihari Yadav said, "Pahalgam khud hi karaya tha kya?" I mean, what an atrocious statement he came up with yesterday. Akhilesh Yadav, Akhilesh, one second, ma'am.
Okay, Pooja ji, 1 second. Allow.
1 second. No, I will not let you speak.
You can always counter.
1 second.
Allow
Have the patience and decency. Secondly, what did Akhilesh Yadav say yesterday? He was casting aspersions, saying yahan par ek sutli bam tak nahi banta hai. When he knows today our defense forces have shown their valor. And today Abu Azmi is saying Indian Muslims ke saath now. Well, today when the briefing was held, Swati, you saw the briefing, how Colonel Sofia Qureshi was right there addressing everyone. You think Indian Muslims are being, pratadit and all this that Abu Azmi is coming up with? They are leading the front. We are proud of them. This is beyond Hindu-Muslim. This is about our great country right now. So when Abu Azmi says something like this, or Imran Masood says, what did Imran Masood say? I'm reading the complete statement. Hum umeed kar rahe the jawab milega par khair chodo. As if he was disappointed कि जवाब नहीं मिला कितने मरे हैं. This is a time when we need to come together and celebrate rather than driving this wedge that Samajwadi Party does every day, demoralizing our forces. यहाँ पे तो एक सुतली बम भी नहीं बनता है. Even though our defense budget has gone up 3 times, even though our production has increased from 35%, earlier we used to produce here, now we produce 65% here. So they have done a great disservice. If Pooja ji wants to differ from that and take a different stance, I'll welcome that. But please don't defend the indefensible.
Like she said, Karan, today is not the day. That's what she said.
Absolutely.
That's how she's maintaining her stand. Today is not the day. But
tell that to Abu Azmi.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to bring in MC Abbas before you counter, Pooja. MC Abbas, would you today agree that when the Prime Minister said mitti mein mila denge, or when the Home Minister said chun chun ke marenge, or when the Raksha Mantri said jo aapko chahiye Modi sarkar mein waisa hi hoga, that they were not bluffing, that it was not a rhetoric, this is what they were planning?
I've always believed, Swati ji, When you do the most common things in life in the most uncommon way, you command the attention of the world. Largely, let us understand what has been India's stand. Doodh mango, kheer denge. Kashmir mango, cheer denge. I think to every Indian true to its blood, it should be the same. As a matter of fact, let us look at the symbolic pride there. Sophia Qureshi, Vikram Mestri, Vaimika Singh, Operation Sindoor to its hilt. Now, the fact of the matter is, let me tell you as a progressive young Indian Muslim, I really wish the butcher of Pulwama, Masood Azhar, Atankwadi terrorist, died in the same strike. Now, let us understand, should politics be done on this front? Absolutely no. There are two nays about it. Therefore, I stand with a leader like Rahul Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge, and several other opposition leaders who have said unequivocally, unconditionally, after the all-party meeting, we stand with the Modi government.
But you know the multiple statements that were made to cast aspersion and doubt the intention of the government. By the way, Masood Azhar's family has been killed, which includes his brother, who was the plotter of the IC-814 hijack that happened.
Absolutely.
Will you today say, MC Abbas, that the opposition was just arriving at conclusions? Yes, it was impatient, just like the rest of the country. But to doubt the intention of the government and to go a step ahead and say Sutli Bam tak nahi bana paaye was downright insulting.
I will answer that, Swati ji. That's a fair question that you've asked. The same reason why I would definitely say, let us look at what the tallest leaders of all the respective opposition parties have said. Naysayers like Abu Azmi, Imran Masood, Rashid Alvi, all of them are going to be there. But they don't hold the significant ground like a Mallikarjun Kharge.
What did Mallikarjun Kharge say, MC Abbas? I really don't want, I did not want to politicize all this, but do we have such a short-term memory that we've forgotten Karan Verma? Mallikarjun Kharge said that the Prime Minister and his team perhaps knew 3 days in advance. They had the intel input, yet did not use that to secure the tourists. Was that said or not?
It was said yesterday, and it was also said that it's been 14 days and nothing has happened so far. So, today, my friend Abbas, I agree with most of what he said, but he should stick his neck out and say that the opposition was unnecessarily getting restless at a time when they should have united. They were passing stray remarks. And Rahul Gandhi, as the leader of opposition, he could have brought them to discipline by passing one statement that enough of this rubbish, we stand with the country. There can be a better time to question other things, as Shashi Tharoor had mentioned, but he did not choose to be that statesman. He allowed these stray elements, and they were not even stray elements. Party president, Siddaramaiah said our fight is not with Pakistan. We have to get our own house in intelligence in order. B.K. Hari Prasad, Saifuddin Soz, Robert Vadra. I can go on with the list, but I don't want to do that. Let's turn a fresh chapter and at least agree now.
It cannot be undone, but it cannot be undone, unseen, unheard now. Those statements have been made, Pooja, and they are going to stay in our memories.
Yes, they are going to stay in our memories. I want to clear that to Bihari ji. Bihari ji said that the Pulwama case is still not solved. Whether it was done by within the India or it was plotted outside the India. This was the statement, and right now you are politicizing it. This is the way I said. Today isn't the day. Today isn't the day to politicize anything.
Then and perhaps will you admit that the opposition was being restless?
It's not like that. The government has right to politicize. This is not the day.
Will you agree that the opposition should not have arrived at the conclusion? Should have actually stood by what they said, that they will support the government in every decision it takes?
Swati, I think our national president didn't come to any conclusion. We were continuously saying that we are with the government.
Did your party chief not say that Sutli Bam tak nahi bana paaye? How can we forget all those statements?
No, our party chief always said that we are supporting the government.
No, your party chief said yesterday itself कि इन लोगों ने बहुत बड़े-बड़े promise किए थे, ये सुतली बम तक नहीं बना पाए. Karan Verma wants to come in, then I'll go across to Air Vice Marshal.
I am quoting now, Swati. I just showed it. Quote: पहलगाम हमला पॉलिटिकल ढंग से कराया गया है कि नहीं, यह अभी तक स्पष्ट नहीं. Unquote. These are the words of नेता आपके जो हैं लाल बिहारी यादव. You should be very embarrassed about it. I don't want to embarrass any further, but let's speak out the truth here, that it was a nonsensical statement that he should not have made.
Okay. And we have Air Vice Marshal as well on the broadcast. Before I wrap up, quick last word to you, Nitin Vaidya ji. These are unfortunate statements that have been made, while there was some who genuinely stood with the government, most of these statements were made to gain political brownie points. One just cannot deny that. It takes a lot of planning when you have to carry out an operation of this scale. That's where, that's where the limited knowledge and understanding, I think, led the opposition to perhaps make these statements.
Swati ji, you are absolutely right in terms of coming to a conclusion that a lot of planning goes into executing such kind of precision strikes. Most important in the planning is that you come back safely. Should you have crossed the international border, that you do your mission and come back safely. That is the ultimate cream of the entire thing, wherein it says that you have successfully executed a mission into the enemy territory. When you do such a thing, and yet there are question marks asked, I am, again, like telling you earlier, I am an apolitical person who served in the Indian Air Force for 36 years plus. I am actually at pain when people make such a kind of a statement and they start questioning as to whether we have actually done a particular thing or not.
Absolutely. After the attack, there was an all-party meeting which happened. The opposition had a forum to raise these questions, but many went to the media raising doubts, casting aspersions. Similarly, there is an all-party meeting that is going to take place tomorrow where the opposition again has the forum to ask questions, but again, that bogey has come to fore, that is demanding sabut, saying kitne aadmi the, kitne terrorists the, ye to batana padega. I'm wrapping up my debate with that. Thank you very much, Pooja and gentlemen, for joining us.